I mean it, boys. So I'm buzzing for this. Now, from talking about Buffaloes to Gamecocks, can't beat watching Gamecocks, boys. South Carolina Gamecocks, who are 1-1 in the season, are going to Athens, Georgia, Saturday, 8:30 p.m. IST or 3:30 p.m. normal time if you live in the States. Playing Georgia. They lost. South Carolina lost to North Carolina in its opening game. It was a 3-point underdog in Charlotte. They took out massive frustrations last week. 17-point favorite in Furman. I mean, like looking at Georgia as well, Dara, they absolutely destroyed Ball State 45-3 last week. But you're looking at teams that are both sort of well rested because they're not competitive games in that sense for them. It's a decent matchup, but I mean, like Georgia are going to have too much, surely, way too much.
Yeah, it's one of the probably the most lopsided game we'll talk about here. But I did want to include Georgia in this podcast because we haven't hit them yet, really. You know, number one team in college football and massive favorites to win it all again for the third year in a row. Biggest eyes to be on this game, probably Carson Beck, the Georgia quarterback. This is going to be his first legitimate defense he'll face this season. He's looked okay so far. I mean, he doesn't have a pile to do when everyone around him is built like the largest 19 or 20-year-old you've seen in your entire life. So if you're focusing on the draft in this one, Brock Bowers, the Georgia tight end, he's the best tight end in college football. He's probably top 10 prospect for this upcoming season. So there'll be eyes on him, obviously. In terms of the matchup itself, maybe Conall will hit a wee bit more on it, but just as a whole, this is a Georgia team that shouldn't have too much difficulty dealing with South Carolina.
Because Conall, like as Dara said, like you're looking at a team in their last 3 games or if it had a 3-game run of winning against South Carolina, they've got a margin of difference of I think it's 32 points. I haven't written that. 32.3 points per game. They've scored at least 40 points in these games. So this game could be over by the start of the second quarter.
Yeah, and I think what really stands out to me is so far this season, like South Carolina have not been able to run the ball at all. And it was kind of surprising, I think, in the first game because last season, like run defense was a massive problem for North Carolina. And then a lot of people came into this year saying, okay, I think they're going to be much improved. And then they absolutely shut down the South Carolina running game, you know, only allowed, I believe, about 40 yards rushing, which was insane. And then last week, they didn't have much luck against Furman. Now, they are a team who much prefers to throw the ball. And if you have Spencer Rattler, that's going to be, you know, your main outlet, your main thing to do. But you can't see them winning, especially against the Georgia secondary that has Javon Bullard and Kamari Lassiter, who are, you know, big draft prospects and could get drafted next year. You can't expect to just throw the ball, you know, 40 times and come out with a victory. Like that's just not going to happen. I also wanted to point out that Georgia currently has a 20-game winning streak, and this game is at home, and they have a 19-game home winning streak. So I don't see them. I see that by next week getting to 21 wins, and like it's really. I'm as Daire said, I'm really interested to see the Georgia team because so far no one has really, you know, I guess taken a hold of what we thought this team would be just yet. You know, everyone's had a certain amount of rushes. No one has more than 8 catches, I believe, on this team. No one has more than 20 rushes so far this season for them. So we'll see maybe if they try and lean on some of the guys a bit more coming into this week.
Yeah, I guess like will we have our bet of the week or like our not our bet every week, but will we do like our pick where it's like we'll choose the handicap here? I'm going to say Georgia minus 25.5. Is that?
Yeah, I would lean Georgia minus 25.5 in Georgia. Yeah.
Conall, do you want to go mad and say 30.5?
Yeah. Do I just have to I mean, I'm currently 1-1. So it's only Daire with some risk, I guess.
I haven't been to like. I'm gonna have to watch back and check. I haven't made like.
I think I watched the first week back. I don't think you put in a name in the first week.
Didn't want to.
Yeah.
I can't. I can't. No, like a lot. Like, did you know what the video file will still be there? Look, at the end of the day, if I win, everyone's coming to the Moy anyway, so it's 100%. It's 100%. You ever been to the Moy, Conall?
No, sure. I've never been like anywhere north.
Have you ever been in the Moy?
That's the most random college football question you're gonna get. Sean Campbell's in the Moy. Right. Anyway,
hang on. I'll go with plus 30. I'll go with plus 30 just to.
well, do you know what? I'm gonna say 32.5 then. Why not?
That's wild.
That is wild. But you know what? It's college football, boys.